For nearly 2,000 years, people have listened to the parables of Jesus, stories about seeds falling on different soils, about hidden treasure buried in a field, about a shepherd searching for a lost sheep. These stories have been repeated in churches, sermons, and books across the world. But very few people ever stop to ask a strange question hidden inside the Bible itself, a question that even the disciples once asked Jesus directly. Why did he speak in parables at all? Why not simply explain the truth clearly? Why hide profound teachings inside stories that many people would misunderstand? One day, the disciples asked him exactly this, and the answer Jesus gave was unsettling. He said, "I speak to them in parables because seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear." Think about that for a moment. Jesus was not saying that parables made things easier to understand. He was saying something very different. He was saying that many people would hear the stories, but still not truly understand them. Which raises a deeper question. Were the parables simply moral lessons, or were they something else entirely? Something designed to reveal truth only to those who are ready to perceive it. If we look closely at the teachings of Jesus, a pattern begins to emerge. Again and again, he speaks in symbols, seeds, light, fields, treasures, doors, eyes, lamps. None of these things are random. They all point toward something deeper than the story itself, almost as if the story is only a surface and the real meaning lies hidden underneath. This way of teaching was not unique to Jesus. In many ancient traditions, deeper truths were often hidden inside symbolic language, not to deceive people, but to protect knowledge from being misunderstood, or perhaps even more importantly, from being ignored, because sometimes a truth given too directly is dismissed, but a story, a symbol, or a riddle has a strange power. It stays in the mind. It keeps working in silence, and slowly, over time, it can open a door in perception. This may be why the parables of Jesus have survived for 2,000 years. They are simple enough for a child to hear, yet mysterious enough to challenge the deepest thinkers. But if we return to the original question the disciples asked, something even more interesting appears. Because the moment they asked Jesus why he spoke in parables, his answer revealed something about human perception itself, something that most readers completely overlook, something that suggests the parables were not only stories about life, but clues about how people see reality itself. And once you begin to notice this, many of the teachings of Jesus start to look very different, not like simple moral advice, but like coded instructions pointing toward a deeper understanding of the human mind and the nature of awareness itself. The moment appears in the Gospel of Matthew. Jesus has just spoken to a crowd using several parables, stories about seeds, about fields, about the mysterious kingdom of heaven. The crowd listens quietly. Some nod, others seem confused. But the disciples notice something strange. These stories are not simple explanations. They are puzzles. So when the crowd disperses, the disciples approach Jesus privately and ask him a direct question. Why do you speak to the people in parables? It is a fair question. If the message is important, why not say it clearly? Why hide truth behind stories? But the answer Jesus gives is not what most people expect. He replies, "To you it has been given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it has not been given." That statement alone is astonishing. It suggests that the teachings of Jesus were not meant to be understood by everyone in the same way. Some would hear the words, but miss the meaning entirely. Others would perceive something deeper. Then Jesus continues with words that sound almost paradoxical. For whoever has, more will be given, and he will have abundance. But whoever does not have, even what he has, will be taken away from him. At first glance, this statement seems confusing. How can someone lose what they already have? And how can someone receive more? Simply by already having something. But when we examine this statement carefully, it begins to reveal a hidden theme that appears throughout the teachings of Jesus. The theme of perception. The idea that understanding is not only about hearing information, it is about the capacity to see what others overlook. Jesus then explains why he speaks in parables, seeing they do not see, and hearing they do not hear, nor do they understand. In other words, the problem is not that the truth is unavailable. The problem is that many people are not able to perceive it. This may sound harsh, but throughout history, philosophers and mystics have suggested something similar. Human beings often hear words, but interpret them only through their existing beliefs. They listen, but rarely question the assumptions they already carry. And because of this, deeper meanings can pass unnoticed. The parables, then, may serve a very specific purpose. They separate two different ways of listening. One that hears only the surface story, and another that senses that something more is hidden beneath it. This is why many of the parables of Jesus contain layers of meaning. On the surface, they appear simple. A farmer sowing seeds, a woman searching for a lost coin, a traveler helping a wounded stranger. But beneath the surface, these stories often point toward deeper insights about awareness, perception, and the inner life of the human mind. The parables are not simply stories about the world, they are mirrors. And depending on how a person sees, the mirror reflects something different. For some, it remains just a story. For others, it becomes a doorway to a completely different way of understanding reality. Once we begin to look at the parables this way, something fascinating starts to emerge. Because the stories of Jesus rarely behave like ordinary teaching. Most teachers explain things step by step. They define ideas clearly. They remove confusion. But the parables of Jesus often do the opposite. They introduce ambiguity. They raise questions. Sometimes they even seem to contradict expectations. And this is precisely what makes them powerful. A direct explanation gives the mind something to repeat. But a paradox forces the mind to stop, to look again, to reconsider what it thought it understood. Take one of the most famous parables as an example. The parable of the hidden treasure. In this story, Jesus says that the kingdom of heaven is like a treasure hidden in a field. A man finds it, hides it again, and then sells everything he owns in order to buy that field. At first glance, this sounds like a simple metaphor about devotion. But if we look more carefully, something unusual appears. The treasure is not given to the man. It is not handed to him by authority. It is discovered, hidden in a field that already existed. This suggests something very different from the idea of salvation being granted from the outside. It suggests that the treasure was already present, but unnoticed. And this pattern appears again and again. The kingdom is described as a seed growing silently, as yeast hidden in dough, as a pearl of great price, as something small, subtle, and easily overlooked. All of these images point toward a single idea. The truth Jesus spoke about may not be something distant. It may be something already present, but hidden beneath the surface of everyday perception. In this sense, the parables are not merely stories about life. They are invitations to see differently, to notice what is usually ignored. And this brings us back to the mysterious statement Jesus made to his disciples. To you it has been given to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. The word mysteries is important. In the ancient world, mysteries did not refer to secrets that were deliberately hidden. They referred to truths that could only be understood through experience, not through explanation alone. Someone could hear about them, but until the moment of realization occurred, the words would remain abstract. This may explain why the parables of Jesus are so enduring. They do not force understanding. They provoke it. They stay in the mind, sometimes for years, until suddenly, one day, the meaning becomes clear. And when that happens, the story is no longer just a story. It becomes a mirror reflecting something about the way we perceive ourselves and the world. This may be why the teachings of Jesus continue to intrigue people across centuries, because hidden within these simple stories, there may be a deeper invitation, not merely to listen, but to awaken a different way of seeing. And if that is the case, then the real purpose of the parables may not have been to explain truth, but to prepare the mind to recognize it when it finally appears. If the parables of Jesus were meant to reveal something deeper, then the real question is not simply what the stories mean. The real question is why they were necessary in the first place. Why would someone speak in symbols instead of speaking plainly? Why hide meaning inside stories about seeds, lamps, fields, and treasure? Perhaps the answer lies in something very simple about the human mind. People often believe they are listening, but most of the time, they are only hearing what they already expect to hear. When a message challenges the way we see the world, the mind quickly resists it. It filters the words, it reshapes them, it turns them into something familiar. But a parable bypasses that resistance. It slips past the defenses of the mind. Instead of arguing with our beliefs, it plants an image, a seed. And once that seed is planted, something interesting happens. The mind begins to work on the story quietly, sometimes for days, sometimes for years. And eventually, if the moment is right, the meaning begins to reveal itself, not as information, but as realization. This may be why Jesus spoke the way he did, because the truth he was pointing toward was not something that could simply be explained. It had to be seen, and seeing cannot be forced. It can only happen when a person is ready to look differently. This is why the same parable can mean one thing to one person, and something completely different to another. For some, the stories remain simple lessons. For others, they become clues, pointing towards something deeper, something about awareness, something about perception, something about the way human beings experience reality. And perhaps this is the real mystery hidden inside the teachings of Jesus. Not that the truth was hidden, but that it was spoken openly in a way that only those who were truly looking would recognize it. Which means the parables may not have been barriers to understanding. They may have been invitations to pause, to question, to look again at things we normally take for granted. Because sometimes the most profound truths are not hidden in complicated theories. They are hidden inside simple stories, waiting for someone to see them in a completely new way. And perhaps that is why, after 2,000 years, the parables of Jesus still continue to echo through history. Not because they give us final answers, but because they keep asking us the same question again and again. Are we truly seeing, or are we only hearing the story?